Hey Blerdies, hey Fandom Fam, it's me, my Childcare Inspire. I took a month off and now I'm back. And I'm pretty sure you guys have seen my summer survival for every caregiver. So now I'm doing a new series to continue that same summer fun and confidence with Camp Butterfly. And so it's going to be, it's every week we're going to be doing, it's the same, same type of content, which is basically tips, activities, media recommendations like books, TV shows that kids would enjoy. And it's all dedicated for kids from ages 0 to 5 because they deserve an awesome summer just as much as their bigger brothers and sisters. Am I right? And so basically, it's basically just kind of like a micro-sized form of camp that is dedicated to this group, so you would be able to have fun with them just as much as they're having fun. So this past week, the past week is dedicated all for nature explorers, and because nature is considered one of the best classrooms. So you can take your little friend outdoors, either to the playground or maybe enjoy the backyard. And so let's begin, and I'll explain a little bit more as we go on. So when I was coming up with more content to continue throughout the summer, there was one thing that I was thinking was that how I could continue to help adults feel more confident about caring for kids. Like, that's my whole thing. Whether it's a parent, want to be parent, new parents, or maybe you're just like Lisa, someone who had no experience working with kids, have gone into childcare and realized it's one of the best experiences that you ever had. So, we always think that we have to be the best teacher. We want to be the next Miss Rachel, or you want to be the next Danny Go, or, these other really great content creators or other great teachers. And you always wonder, like, how can I be able to be this engaging and educational to my kiddo as well? Or be able to, share those same type of lessons with my kids, so that way I could be learning and having fun with them and don't have to keep going over to a screen. And so you think that you have to be organized. You think you have to run back and forth to Hobby Lobby for every little thing. You think you're going to have to buy the best toys. But younger children don't really care about that. What they care about, and they're still learning as they're playing, is that you are playing and teaching and learning along with them. So that's something to keep in mind. And one of the best classrooms, like I mentioned earlier, is the outdoors. See, check this out. I am literally sitting out here in front of trees, in front of this beautiful lake, to show just how beautiful nature can be and how kids can really get a big fun and kick out of just going outside. It's just creating those favorite memories of, of like checking, looking and finding bugs, sidewalk chalk, running through the grass, just finding interesting rocks, seeing birds fly, looking at the clouds and the shapes. It just goes to show you that it is just one of the best, best resources that you have, that you don't need to go take them to some place. You just simply have to let them just take them outside to just enjoy the weather, especially right now when it's summer, when the weather is at its best. And that's basically what Camp Butterfly is all about, creating that really great summer camp experience for the littles. All right, so let's go more into nature. So you might be wondering why nature is so important for the first 5 years. Young children, like I mentioned, this is like the best time for them to learn. They learn with their entire bodies. For babies, they learn from touching different textures. They could probably feel some grass. They may be able to feel a leaf, maybe find a feather, or you could find a feather, from a bird, things like that. And you could have them use their other 5 senses to hear birds flying through the sky, or hear birds tweeting. I'm said flying through the sky. You could hear them tweeting, or you could hear, small little woodland creatures, and also feel the breeze. Toddlers, they could learn like literally from exploring. They climb, they could walk on balance, they could hop from stone to stone. They could collect sticks, pick up sticks, they learn through texture and feel, but they learn through their gross motor skills as well. And preschoolers is when they, in that stage, that they begin to make predictions. They use problem solving skills, practice their counting. They can compare the differences between shapes of leaves. And also you could tell them stories, or they could even create their own stories about the things around them. Like, it's perfect for a game of I Spy. Nature supports every area of development. Language grows when we describe what we see. motor skills, they grow when children are walking on even paths, or when they're picking up, things they find. Like maybe a preschooler is going to find a rock, and they would describe what the rock looks like, or just a simple toddler just managing to pick up the rock and actually looking at it. So science begins when they wonder why a butterfly lands on a flower. Math begins when they are counting birds and comparing sizes of rocks: big rock, small rock, a hard rock, a more jagged rock, more smoother rock. There's also social emotional skills. They grow when children slow down, they observe what's around them, and they also experience the world with somebody that they trust, which is which you are that person. So a beautiful thing is that these moments don't require expensive materials. Nature provides the lesson for you. You don't have to set up like this huge trip just for kids to be able to experience this. Just take them outside, look around with them, and they learn everything just by just stepping outside their front door or back door. You know. And another thing I want to add on is that you don't have to be an expert. If you're watching this thinking, I never worked in childcare or I don't have children. So that's my biggest thing with my content. It's like these are for people who don't have the experience, but they want the experience. Like, you think that you may not be a good parent because you don't see yourself as mature enough or responsible enough to be a parent. You're able to do that. Like the sheer fact that you're thinking about being a parent, I think that's the first step of thinking that you could, have the responsibility to be a parent. Like if you have the desire for it, you will work to it. And it's going to be ups and downs, but you're going to figure out a way to be able to do it. Or you're probably like me. You've been told all your life that you should probably work in childcare. You seem like you were good with kids. You get along with kids, but you were like, well, I never really babysitted, or, I never really watched over other kids. So I don't really think that I'd be the type of person to be able to go and, be over a group of kids. But, you enjoy it and you feel so excited for the next day when you're ready to wake up from work the next day. That was me. Or, like I said, I'm still learning. Like becoming a parent is not like I'm not a parent, but from what I've heard or I've seen, that being a parent, it does not take you being an expert. It's just like everything else in life. It's learning as you go. So I want to encourage you that you don't have to know every single answer. One of the greatest things that you can say to a child is that I don't know, let's find out together. That simple sentence teaches curiosity. It also teaches humility. It teaches problem solving. And it shows children that learning never stops. And also as caregivers, it's more than just a job. Like we say, it's our job. It said that it's our job to look at kids, and we don't have to know everything. Our job is to help children discover the world. So not only are they learning, you can learn along with them. And so, of course, I want to throw in a few simple nature activities that might help you out. So here's a few easy ideas. So for our little babies and infants out there, you could just sit out. You could just sit outside together. You could tell them about the breeze. You could say about the air. You could describe to them everything that's going on around them. Like infants, you don't think that they're paying attention, but they are very smart. They learn very easily. Just having them be in that experience, they're picking up everything that they are witnessing, everything they see, everything they hear, they're not understanding it, but they are registering and taking in what that is so they can remember it for later. Listening to birds, it's let them just safely touch grass, just nearby, have them, enjoying the grass around them. Make sure they don't grab clumps and eat it. Just make sure that they're enjoying the grass and the leaves. Now for my parents over toddlers, you could try doing a color hunt. You can help them find something that's green, like a green leaf or the grass. Find something that is yellow, maybe find the sun, or maybe find a little flower. Something soft. You don't have to hold a rabbit, but if you see a rabbit, you can point it out. Just do like a little hunting game, a little color game, or just anything that can spot that's around them. You can even make it, and if you want to plan a trip, you could turn it into a nature walk. You could find like a nice little park nearby, and you guys could walk around and point things out. Now, for my parents over preschoolers, I would say you could create a nature journal. You could collect stuff to put into it. You could write down what you see. This helps with them with their beginning writing skills, or you could just have them just draw what they see. You can collect flowers. You could talk about bugs. Like I mentioned, draw. what you discovered. So remember, the goal isn't to keep the child busy. The goal is to help them notice how amazing the world is around them. Like, this is all about exploring and learning from nature. Like, you don't have to take them over to the Serengeti just for them to explore nature. Just simply just go outside and just take a walk in your neighborhood. It's enough for them to pick up everything that they can need. And then maybe you could plan that trip to the zoo this weekend. So if you are beginning your parenting journey or stepping into childcare, don't feel the pressure on yourself to create every magical moment every single day. Some days you don't have to, some days you might find something incredible. You guys might be walking out, see a deer. Other days you guys will just be walking around, just walking around for the day, and then it's time to go back inside. Children often find magic in the ordinary. They might see a butterfly, or, if it's a rainy day, they find a puddle. They might not see like a big stargazer lily. They might see a dandelion, or they may come across a little ladybug just by if you guys just sitting and just having lunch at your favorite bench. Sometimes we just need to slow down enough to notice what we're already noticing. These small moments become lifetime memories. So once again, like it's for lack of a better word, and no pun intended, it's baby steps. It's just really simple, and you enjoy just as much as they are. So thank you so much for joining me on the very first week of Camp Butterfly. And I can't wait for next week. We're going to be going into the water squad. So I hope this video reminds you that you don't need to be perfect or have perfect plans to create a meaningful learning experience. This week, I want to challenge you to spend just 5 or to 15 minutes outside. Not 5 minutes, sorry. Spend 15 minutes outside with a little learner. It doesn't have to be a checklist. You don't need an agenda. You don't need to sit out to do something. Just go outside and just look around and explore together. Now, if you enjoyed my video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and you can share with someone who might be preparing to be a parent, or might be starting in childcare themselves, or is already raising a little learner. And next week, like I mentioned, we're going to be doing we're going to be continuing Camp Butterfly with the Water Squad, and we're going to be exploring water play, summer safety, and how to keep cool while still learning. So until next time, remember to stay blessed and blerdful, fear less, care more, and have the loveliest of lovely days. Bye.